I'm Kendra Fauth-Edwards, and I'm the Chief Growth Officer for CarDon Associates. And welcome to the CarDon Resource Hub. And today we're going to talk a little bit about what are the differences between a traditional Medicare and a Medicare Advantage plan. And I'm going to turn it over to Laura Litke, and she's going to walk through some of those things with you to help you become more knowledgeable about those options that you have.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Laura Litke with CarDon Associates, and I'm the Director of Clinical Integration and Business Development. And we are going to talk a little bit today about Medicare benefits, which can be very confusing and overwhelming. There's lots of options. So we're going to kind of scratch the surface today on trying to understand the different options for seniors. So the most important thing, I think, is understanding the difference between the Medicare Advantage plans and Medicare Supplement. So there's a lot of different terminology that people use and that you'll hear to refer to the different options. Traditional Medicare is Medicare Part A and B that covers most of the services, medical services, through the Medicare benefit. So one option would be to pair traditional Medicare Part A and B with a Medicare supplement. And what a Medicare supplement does is it covers most of your copay, coinsurance, deductible, or out-of-pocket cost that you would have to pay using traditional Medicare. So if you pair traditional Medicare Part A and B with a Medicare supplement, you would have a higher monthly premium, but then lower or usually no unexpected out-of-pocket cost associated with using services. The next option would be to sign up for what most people call a Medicare Advantage plan. This is also referred to as a Medicare replacement plan or an option C plan. And this Medicare Advantage or Medicare replacement policy, you are actually turning your Medicare benefit over to a private insurance company, and then the insurance company manages your medical benefits and pays your claims. The advantage to the Medicare replacement plans is that they typically have low or zero monthly premium. They also sometimes have additional vision and dental coverage, although most of the time that only covers preventive services, and there still could be associated cost towards the out-of-pocket max. So the difference would be with a Medicare supplement, you have higher monthly premiums, but your unexpected cost throughout the year is very minimal. Versus the Medicare Advantage or replacement policy, you have a much lower monthly premium, but your unexpected cost throughout the year could be a lot higher depending on the services that you're going to utilize with your benefit. The next thing I'd like to go through is the difference between coverage with the Medicare Advantage plans versus Medicare with a supplement. So the first thing is the Medicare Advantage plans do have a network of physicians that they are contracted with, meaning that you would have to stay within the network in order to utilize your benefits or pay a much higher cost out of pocket. Traditional Medicare with a supplement is accepted by over 96% of all providers throughout the country. So you are not limited to the providers you are able to go see. The second thing is with the Medicare Advantage plan, most of the time a referral is needed to see a specialist. With traditional Medicare, you would not need a referral to see a specialist. You can see an additional specialist or get a second opinion without that referral. And then the third thing that's different between the two plans is prior authorizations. With Medicare Advantage, many services require prior authorization in order for the claims to be paid, versus traditional Medicare typically does not require prior authorization. Sometimes prior authorization can result in delays of care or services being denied altogether. The next thing I'd like to go through is, especially if you're someone who travels a lot, or if you have, if you spend your winters, let's say in Florida, and then you come back home during the warmer months, or if you have a second home, a lake house or anything, you would want to look at the differences between the plans. Traditional Medicare, you can utilize at any provider across state lines if you're traveling within the country or if you are at a different location for half of the year. With a Medicare Advantage or replacement plan, typically it's a much smaller geographic location of coverage. Emergency services only would be covered across state lines. So this is something you would definitely want to consider if you do a lot of travel or have multiple locations where you live throughout the year. And then the next thing we'll go through is how do you decide on the plans based on your medical needs? The premiums are going to be different, as I mentioned, between the Medicare replacement and the Medicare supplement. You will pay higher premiums throughout the year for the supplement, and the Advantage plans will have lower premiums. But if you utilize your benefit, you will have higher associated coinsurance and much higher out-of-pocket max with the Medicare Advantage plan. So if you're healthy and you don't anticipate that you're going to need to use your Medicare benefit for a lot of services throughout the year, you may be able to save money with the Medicare Advantage or replacement plan. But if you have a chronic illness or you tend to utilize your insurance benefits and require extensive treatments and services throughout the year, typically you'll be better served with a Medicare supplement plan because you would have lower out-of-pocket cost and unexpected costs throughout the year. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on was open enrollment and the special enrollment period. So if you do opt for a Medicare Advantage plan or you opt for a Medicare supplement, you are able to switch to the other options or a different type of Medicare Advantage plan, because private insurance companies, all of those policies can be different depending on which private insurance company is managing your benefit. But you can always switch during open enrollment. There's also a special enrollment triggers that will allow you to flip between the plans throughout the year. So some of those special enrollment life events, let's call them, that would allow you to switch outside of the open enrollment period would be if you move to a new address that is not in your Medicare Advantage plan service area. If you move back into the United States after living outside of the country. And then also what we see at CarDon with a lot of our patients that we interact with is if they are moving in or out of a skilled nursing facility or a long-term care facility. That is a qualifying event that will allow you to switch plans between Medicare Advantage and or supplement plans without being in that open enrollment period. And you also have a 2-month window. If you come to a skilled facility for rehab, let's say you've had a hospitalization and you need rehab, and you once you discharge, if you don't feel like you have the coverage that you need, you do have the option within 2 months after discharging to switch to a different plan.
Wow, that was so helpful. And I think the moral of the story is the devil's in the detail and talking about what really makes sense. And I think that was very well thought out, and I appreciate it. I know that this is one of those questions we get asked a lot. I know I get people ask me for my advice on this a lot, and I can't wait to share this video with everyone going through this, definitely during this time of open enrollment. So thanks for sharing, Laura.
Definitely, Kendra. I will say also that lots of patients that I've interacted with throughout my years in skilled nursing actually don't understand what they've signed up for. So that's why I think it's just important to understand your options and know what you're actually paying for, what your premiums are going towards. I've met patients in the hospital that thought that they had signed up for a Medicare supplement plan, and they really actually have a Medicare replacement plan. And that can change the access that they have to services. So thank you so much.